Hello, my friend, and welcome. I want to tell you a story today. It's a story about a journey. Really, a journey that every single one of us is on. It's about two roads and two very, very different rooms waiting for us at the end. All right, let's begin.
So, we're talking about a journey in two paths. We all come to a place where we have to choose our way. When we start out in life, it feels like this big open adventure, hey? Full of promise, so many possibilities. But as we keep walking, well, that straight road starts to bend. And soon enough, it leads to a fork, a place where a choice has to be made. And that choice, it changes everything.
Just listen to this. When you're young, the life ahead of you is a pristine, never-opened book. That's so true, isn't it? The pages are all clean, not a word written yet. You just know it's going to be a grand story. But as you start living, as the pages start to turn, that simple path we were talking about, it splits. And all of a sudden, you're just standing there at a crossroads, totally confused about which way you're supposed to go. So there you are, at this fork in the road. And you look up and there's a sign. One arrow points left and it reads, Path 1, Pleasing God. The other arrow points right and it says, Path 2, Trusting God. Now wait a minute. That's a confusing sign, eh? How can you choose one and not the other? Aren't they the same thing? It's like someone asking you to choose between breathing and having a heartbeat. It just doesn't make sense. So you're standing there and you have to choose. And you think to yourself, trusting God, well, that sounds a bit passive. Like you're just sitting there waiting. It doesn't give you anything to do. But pleasing God, now that one feels right. It feels like the responsible thing to do. I mean, after everything God has done for us, shouldn't we try our best to please Him? It gives you a job, a purpose. So you say, okay, this is my path, and you start walking.
All right, so now we're on the pleasing God path. It's a place that starts with really good intentions, but there are some hidden struggles. So you walk and you walk, and after a long time, you see this massive building up ahead. From far away, it looks so grand, so impressive. You think, wow, I've arrived. But you soon find out this place, it has a secret.
You get closer and you see the name of the place, the Room of Good Intentions. And all around it are signs that say things like, strive harder, and it's all about self-effort. And you nod to yourself thinking, yes, of course, this makes perfect sense. God has done His part, now it's up to me to do my part. It really feels like you found the place where you can finally work hard enough to show God you're worth it. So you walk inside, and wow, this room is huge and beautiful. I'm talking white marble floors, gold leaf on the walls, the whole thing. And it's packed with people, and every single one of them is smiling. You walk up to someone and ask, how are you doing? And they look at you with this big, bright smile and say, oh, I'm just fine. Everything is just fine. But you quickly learn that's the only answer you're allowed to give. If you try to be honest, if you even hint at a struggle, you just get silence. And then someone hands you a mask. And you look around and you realize everyone is wearing one. It's a beautiful room, but man, is it a lonely place.
And then you see it, hanging on the back wall, a giant banner. It says, working on my sin to achieve an intimate relationship with God. And at first, this sounds exactly right. You think, yes, that's it. That's what I have to do. It feels like a clear instruction manual. If I can just work hard enough on all my mistakes, on all my failures, then maybe, just maybe, I can get close to God again. But what you don't realize at first is that this banner, it's not a sign of hope. It's a heavy, heavy weight you're about to put on your own shoulders.
So now we have to talk about leaving this land of pretending. Because after a while, you realize that all this performing, it's not the same as connecting. You've been in this beautiful room for some time now. You're trying so hard, you're doing all the right things, saying all the right things, but this little feeling of unease, it just starts to grow. Something is not right here.
And that's when you start to really see. You start to look past the perfect smiles. You look past the fancy decorated masks, and you look right into people's eyes. And what you see, it shocks you. Everyone is exhausted. You can see this deep, lonely pain hiding back there in the moments when they think nobody is watching. These people aren't living. They're just performing.
And you realize the whole room, the whole system, is built on one simple formula. It's more right behavior plus less wrong behavior equals godliness. It sounds like it should work, right? Just do more good stuff, do less bad stuff, and you'll get there. But here's the thing. That equation is built on a lie. It's a trap because it makes you think it's all about what you do. And you forget that you can never, ever do enough to measure up on your own. And this is the heart of the problem, right here. We can never resolve our sin by working on it. Think about that. Trying harder and harder to stop sinning, it doesn't actually bring you closer to God. It just makes you think about your sin all day long, and it just makes you more and more tired. It's like you're on one of those hamster wheels, just running and running and running, but you're not going anywhere at all.
And after all that trying and all that failing, you just feel more distant from God than when you first walked in. You just can't do it anymore. So one day, you slip out the back door, nobody even sees you go, and you just feel crushed, completely defeated, because you really thought this was your only chance to get it right with God, and you blew it.
But now, what about that other path, the trusting God path? This leads to a very different kind of room, one that's built on grace. So, feeling like you have no other choice, you go back to that fork in the road, and you start walking down that other path. This road is not smooth and easy. It's a bit rough. There are rocks and hills, but you keep going. And after a while, you see another building, and right away, you can tell this place is different.
The sign on this building says the Room of Grace, and underneath, it says it's a place where people live out of who God says they are. Interesting. And when you get to the door, there's no big list of rules, no requirements, just one single word written on it: humility. That's the only key you need to get in. You just have to admit that you can't do it all by yourself. You have to admit you need help.
So you push the door open and walk in. And there's no cold marble here, no shiny gold, just warm wood, sunshine coming through the windows, and comfortable chairs. But the real difference, the biggest difference, is the people. You look around and there are no masks, not a single one. And you can hear people laughing, real, genuine laughter. They're talking openly about their struggles, their fears. And when you finally whisper, "I'm not doing fine at all," nobody goes silent. Instead, they smile and pull up a chair for you. Here, being honest isn't just okay, it's celebrated.
And this room, it has a banner too, but the words on this one, they change everything. It says, "Standing with God, my sin in front of us, working on it together." Do you see the difference? It's not you on one side, working on your sin to try and reach God on the other side. No. In this picture, God is standing right next to you, His arms around your shoulder, and the two of you, you're looking at the problem together.
So let's put it all together. What does this all mean? This story about two rooms, it shows us a simple, powerful truth about this journey of faith we are all on. Let's break it down. In that first room, on the pleasing God path, the focus is all on my effort. It's me trying to work my way to God by managing all my mistakes. But in the second room, on the trusting God path, the focus is completely different. It's on God's love. I just stand with God, and we face my mess together, like a team. And it all comes down to this one idea. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Now that word faith, it really just means trust. Simple trust. So without trust, it's impossible to please Him. All that hard work in the first room, all the striving, all the performing with the masks, it adds up to nothing if it's not built on trust first. And here is the big secret, the whole point of the story. We had the signposts backwards the whole time. Pleasing God is not the path you take. It's the fruit that grows on the path of trusting Him. See? It's not something you do to earn His love. It's what happens, naturally, automatically, when you just choose to trust Him. When you finally stop trying so hard and just trust, you find out that your trust is the very thing that pleases Him the most.
So the story ends here, but our journey, your journey, it continues. And it leaves us with a very important question to ask ourselves. We are all living in one of these two rooms right now. So, which one is it for you? Are you on the path of pleasing or the path of trusting? Are you tired? Are you exhausted from wearing that mask, from all the performing? Or are you living in the freedom of that second room, the one where you're known and loved just as you are? It's something to think about, isn't it?